Hello teacher, I made this video to summarize and review through 5 chapters of Principle and Management. So let's go first with the chapter 1, Introduction of Management. First part is organization. Organization is a collection of people working together to achieve a common purpose. Organization provides useful goods or services that return value to society and satisfy customer needs. Talk about organizational performance, we have 3 main parts. First is productivity. Productivity is an overall measure of quantity and quality of work performance with resource utilization taken into account. Second, the performance effectiveness is an output measure of tasks or goal accomplishment. Is an input measure of the results cost associated with goal accomplishment. The second part is manager. Manager directly supports activities and is responsible for the work of others. The people whose managers help are the ones whose tasks represent the real work of organization. Management skills include 3 main points. The first is technical skill, the job-specific knowledge and technicals needed. Second is human skills, the ability to work well with other people individually or in a group. And the last one is conceptual skills, is the ability to think and to conceptualize about abstract and complex situations. We have 3 kinds of type of managers. First is top managers, second is middle managers, and the last is line managers. And the third part of this chapter is the management process. We have 4 functions of management. First is planning, the process of setting objectives and determine what actions should be taken to accomplish them. Second is organizing, the process of assigning tasks, allocating resources, and coordinating work activities. The third part is leading, the process of arousing people enthusiasm to work hard and direct their efforts to achieve goals. And the fourth part is controlling, the process of measuring work performance and taking action to ensure desired results. So now we move on to the second chapter, History of Management. The first part is classical management approaches. We have scientific management, the Gilbreth emphasize careful selection and training of workers and supervisor support. Second is administrative principles of Harry Fail. We have 5 main points are foresight, organization, command, coordination, and control. Now we talk about the principle to guide managers in action. Scale change, there should be a clear and unbroken line of communication from the top to the bottom of organization. Second, unity of command. Each person should receive orders from only one boss. Unity of direction. One person should be in charge of all activities with the same performance objective. The third part of this chapter is bureaucratic organization of Max Weber. Bureaucracy is an idea, intentionally rational and very efficient form of organization. It based on principles of logic, order, and legitimate authority. Now we talk about the characteristics of bureaucratic organization. It includes clear divisions of labor, clear hierarchies of authority, formal rules and procedures, and impersonally. And the last thing is careers based on merit. Now let's move on to the behavioral management approaches. We have Maslow's theory of human needs, which means a need physiological or psychological deficiency a person feels compelled to satisfy. We had 5 need levels. So the first is physiological. It includes basic needs like food, water, physical well-being. Second need is safety, include security, protection, and stability. The third need is social, include love and social relationship. Fourth need is esteem, include respect, reorganization. And the last need is self-actualization, which means use abilities to dominate to the society. So the last theory is McGregor theory X and Y. Theory X assumes that workers who are dislike work, lack ambitions, are irresponsible, resist change, and prefer to be lead. Theory Y assumes that workers are willing to work, capable of self-control, willing to accept the responsibility, imaginative and creative, and last, capable of self-direction. Talk about modern management foundation, we need to talk about evidence-based management. Is making management decisions, or it means making management decisions on hard facts about what really works. Evidence-based positive human resource management practice like employment security, selective hiring, self-managing teams, high pay based on merit, training and development, reduced status distinctions, and the last share information. So now we move on to chapter 5, global management. Global management means that managing in organizations with business interests in more than one country. And market entry strategies involve the sale of goods or services to foreign markets, but do not require expensive investment. Now we talk about the culture and global diversity. About silent language of culture, the global context cultures emphasize communication via spoken or written words, such as United States, Canada, and Germany. High context cultures rely on non-verbal and situational cues as well as on spoken or written words, like Thailand and Malaysia. About the time, we have two types of time: monochronic cultures. People tend to do one thing at a time, such as United States, Canada, Germany, and polychronic culture. Time is used to accomplish many different things at once, like Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Mexico. About the space, proximate study of how people use space to communicate. In US, people value personal space, while many Latino and Asian cultures expect much less personal space. The third part is tight and loose cultures. The third part is values and national cultures. We compare the power of distance between doctor and driver, uncertainty avoidance, like degree of tolerating risk. We compare individualism and collectivism between individuals and groups. We compare masculinity and femininity between male and female. Time orientation compare the short-term thinking and long-term thinking. Now we just finished the chapter 5. Let's move on to chapter 8, planning processes and technicals. Planning process had 5 steps. The first step is define your objective. The first step is define your objective. The second step is determine where you stand vis-a-vis objective. The third step is develop premises regarding future conditions. The fourth step is analyze alternatives and make a plan. And the final step is implement the plan and evaluate results. So talk about the benefits of planning. We have 4 main benefits. The first is improves the focus and flexibility. The second is improves action orientation. The third is improves coordination and control. Fourth is planning and time management. We have 3 types of plans. The first is long-range and short-range plans. The second is strategic and tactical plans. Strategic plans mean focused on the organization as a whole or major components, long-term plans. Tactical plans can be called another name, like tactical plans also mean functional plan in business. Tactical plans, as known as functional plans in business, include production plans, financial plans, facility plans, logistics plans, marketing plans, and HR plans. Operation plans guide behavior and describe what needs to be done in short term to support the strategic and tactical plans, include standing plans and single-use plans. Talk about planning tools and technicals. We have forecasting is the process of predicting what will happen in the future. Like we have two kinds of forecasting are qualitative forecasting, quantitative forecasting. Contingency planning identifies alternative action to take when things go wrong and we need a backup plan. Scenario planning identifies alternative future scenarios and makes plans to deal with each. Long-term versions of contingency planning. Benchmarking uses external and internal comparison to plan for future improvements. We have two kinds of benchmarking. The first is internal benchmarking. Members and workers learn to and improve by sharing practice. And external benchmarking learn from competitors and non-competitors alike. Staff planning gets staff with drawing skills and numbers of people involved in planning process. And this is chapter 9, the final chapter, control processes and systems. Talk about the importance of controlling. Controlling is the process of measuring performance and making sure things turn out as intended. After action views is a system assessment of lessons learned and results accomplished in a completed project. We have three different kinds of controls. The first one is feed-forward controls, can be called preliminary controls, ensures that direction and resources are right before the work begins and take place before a work activity begins. Second is concurrent controls, can be known as steering controls, focused on what happens during the work process, make sure things are being done according to the plan. And the third is feedback control, can be called post-action control, takes place after an action is completed, focused on the quality of end results. Talk about internal and external control part. Self-control occurs through self-discipline in fulfilling work and personal responsibilities, consists of unlocking, allowing, and supporting it. Bureaucratic control influences behavior through authority, policies, procedures, job descriptions, budget, and day-to-day supervision. And plan control influence behavior through norms and expectations set by the origin culture. And the last one is market control, influence of market competitions on the behavior of organizations and their members. And the control process has 4 steps. The first step is establish objectives and standards. The second step is measure actual performance. The third step is compare results with objectives and standards. And the last step is take corrective action. Talk about control tools and technicals. Project management means make sure that activities required to complete a project are planned well and accomplished on time. We have 2 kinds of techniques that are Gantt chart and CPM PERT. Inventory control ensures that inventory is only big enough to meet immediate needs. And break-even analysis perform what-if calculations under different revenues and cost conditions. Financial controls is a balance sheet, so assets and liabilities at one point in time. An income statement shows profits or losses at one point in time. Balance scorecard tallies organizational performance in financial, customer service, internal process, and innovation and learning areas. So I just finished chapter 9 and also finished summarize through 5 chapters that we have learned. So thank you for watching this and have a nice day.